Continues. Obviously, this just sucks. It stinks, and there's nothing that you can say to make it feel any better for everyone in that locker room. And our fans are incredible. What a great atmosphere, and would love to be at Tumors with them right now. But we still obviously are not finding ways to win games against top quality opponents, and our team did play their guts out against what I think is a really good football team, and we're proving we can play with the top in this league, but we hadn't proven we can find ways to win the game, and that's the summary. I mean, we could have easily been up 14-0. We had 3 drops in the first half that were critical in stopping our drives, and obviously the missing field goals was a big factor in the outcome also. And tough night.
Go Daryl in the front and Johnny in the back.
Coach, earlier in fall practice, there was a famous video that went around with you less than happy with Jackson holding onto the ball in a play, and I know it was just practice, but tonight it seems like that is something that's continually happening over and over. Could you discuss that a little bit?
Yeah, it's definitely it's not all Jackson. I need to go watch the film, particularly on those last couple series. I got to see most of the ones on the iPad. I thought we held on to a couple that we could have gotten rid of for sure, and that has been an issue when we go through progressions. We do have some folks open that are in some one-on-one situations where I think we've got to let it go, and we've got to protect better too. It's a combination. But like early on, I thought he played outstanding, and really, first drive was good. Second drive, he throws a really good ball. Could have been possible touchdown there. Then the next 2, we have 2 drops that put us behind the chains, and then we had a drop on a 4th down drive that was a huge play that puts us in field goal range with a chance to win the game in regulation, and so it's not all him. But do I wish that we got the ball out of our hand all the time? Yes. And there's some times that it's realistic, and probably sometimes that it's not quite so realistic.
The results continue to be like they are. Fans, alumni, people of this program that care about this program, what would be your message to them that you and your staff are the right people to continue to lead this program?
Yeah, that's listen, we all know what we signed up for, and I certainly know that we fit what Auburn is all about, but Auburn is also about winning football, and we're going to come to work Monday and get our kids ready to play Arkansas, and these kids are playing their guts out, and I know that we've changed the talent level here, but at the end of the day, at some point, you have to win football games, and I don't make those decisions, those calls. I just know that God's called me here to lead these young men through a very challenging and difficult time, and I'm not enjoying it a whole lot of that part of it, but yet, man, when you're called to have backbone and to stand and walk through and do a job that you've been asked to do, you're going to do it faithfully and do it really well, or as well as you can until that time does not exist. And I know we're close, and I know we'll get it over the hump. And I certainly know one hurts for these incredible fans more than me and our staff. And so we're close, but I know that people are tired of hearing that, because I'm tired of saying it and I'm tired of feeling it. But I do know that anyone that looks, this stretch of games was against 4 really, really good teams that we had a chance to win all of them. At some point, they're going to start going our way.
Mike, Jacob, Jason.
Coach, your first couple of years here, you talked a lot about closing the talent gap between Auburn and the top of the league. You've been provided the resources to do that. Auburn had an incredible recruiting haul. You know, at this point, with the results that you're getting, what else would you say you need to get over the hump? I know you say you're close, but what do you need to
Yeah,
finish
that,
the job?
you know, people have, the people have given us everything. I mean, I think we could have a little more depth at certain places, but the resources, the support that, whether it be our administration or whether it be our boosters or whether it be our collective or whether it be our fans, you couldn't ask for any more. We don't make winning plays enough right now, whether it be tonight, some uncharacteristic drops here and there. Our defense plays outstanding, and then we have, 30 yards of penalties on the last drive in the fourth quarter at critical time that gives them the tying score. And, it's just the field goal team. I mean, Alex usually is automatic from those first two. The last one was a little long. Probably should have went with Connor on that one, but he'd been making 50-yarders or so in practice. But that's uncharacteristic of him, and you make, those two field goals, we're all, celebrating at Tumors right now, but we're not. We're not making those plays, and it's not I don't think you can say it's a huge talent gap right now, because we've been right there with all the ones that I guess are doing pretty well in this league right now.
You in SEC Media Days this summer, you said that you expected this team to be in the playoff discussion, sitting here at 3-4. Just what should the expectation be for you and for this team now?
Yeah, to win out. That's all it can be, is go 1-0 next week. That's the only option you have, and it's sickening, because you could be sitting here with, easily with one loss, and but again, we're not, and that falls on me and the staff, and obviously our players have to make some plays too at times, but ultimately no one feels the responsibility of that more than myself.
Obviously, it's not just Jackson, but quarterback gets a lot of the blame. In those winning moments, he just hasn't made plays. At what point do you go, hey, I know we're close, but we need to look at somebody to see if they give us a spark?
Yeah, it's trust me, have thought and talked with staff about that the whole time, and was prepared, and then I think he's playing really well the first half, and I don't know that you can argue that some of the drives that didn't have success were really on him, and so you want to keep going with that as long as you feel that way, but it certainly is something that has to be discussed and talked about.
So we go Jack, Ferg, and then Brian.
Coach, you have these 4 one-possession losses against top teams in the SEC. How do you keep your players, keep their spirits up? It's high emotion situations. How do you keep their spirits up?
Yeah, our spirits are not up right now, and that'll be a job next week for myself and our staff and the leadership of the team to rally around each other to finish and go try to win the rest of these games against, obviously, good teams left on the schedule also.
You guys had to put Kale in there, and snaps and kind of high. Apparently one of the problems on that third down close. Just how tough was that, having to deal with Connor being out there, and especially considering the offense didn't have much success late in the game without him?
Yeah, we got banged up tonight for sure, and obviously when you lose a guy like Connor that makes all the calls for you against a really talented defense, it's a challenge. I really don't know how Kale performed. Obviously, I think he's going to be a really good football player, but it was a huge loss to lose the leader of your O-line, who makes all the protection calls and all the calls up there, run game, pass game. So that was a tough loss for sure.
What you said, offense and overtime, I think you finished -5 yards on 8 plays.
Yeah, just, and I have to go back through them, but obviously not a very good plan.
Mike, to finish this up.
Just kind of following up on Jason's question about personnel. Yeah, at what point do you say even though it's not all on one guy,
Yeah.
we need a spark?
Yeah.
And we have to try something different to try to get a spark going because it's close and maybe somebody else can get us over the hump or make that game-winning play that you
Yeah.
last game.
I think that's got to be discussed in depth Monday.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Yep, thank you.